Saturday nights at the Crimson Page are supposed to be quiet. Not the exciting kind of quiet where something's about to happen. I'm talking the dust settling, book organizing, wondering why I chose this career, kind of quiet that makes you question if getting a master's degree in library science was worth the student loans. I've worked at this old downtown library for 3 years. Long enough to know when someone's about to steal a book, when the ancient heating system's about to die, and when Mr. Chen's going to fall asleep in the periodical section. My point is, nothing surprises me anymore. I am the surprise. A plus-size black woman who chose books over bars and silence over noise. But nothing could have prepared me for what happened that night. It starts with the lights. The overhead fluorescents flicker once, twice, then dim to almost nothing. The air gets thick like breathing honey. My skin prickles. Every hair on my arm stands up. Then I see him. He's standing between the mythology stacks, tall, carved like something out of a Renaissance painting, wearing a suit that probably costs more than my car. Dark hair falls across his forehead. Eyes so blue, they almost glow in the dim light. And then the impossible happens. The man across from him, another stranger I hadn't noticed, lunges. Not a punch, not a shove. His entire body morphs, skin cracking, horns erupting from his skull, wings bursting through his back. A demon. An actual demon. The blue-eyed man doesn't flinch. His form shifts too, but into something else. Something made of shadow and silver light, with eyes that burn like stars. They collide in the middle of my library and I watch, frozen, as claws rake through the air, as books fly off shelves, as reality itself seems to crack around them. I glance toward the front desk. Mrs. Patterson, the night supervisor, is still typing on her computer, completely oblivious. A college student in the corner keeps scrolling through his phone. Nobody sees this but me. The shadow man slams the demon into a bookshelf. The demon hisses, bearing fangs that drip black venom. My brain screams at me to run, to hide, to do literally anything except stand here gaping. But I can't move. Both fighters freeze at exactly the same moment. Their heads snap toward me like predators catching a scent. The blue-eyed man's gaze locks onto mine. For one electric, terrifying moment, something passes between us, a jolt that goes straight through my chest. The demon grins, black blood on his lips. She sees, he says, or maybe I imagine it. The words slide into my skull like knives. Then the world shatters. The lights explode. My vision blurs. Everything goes silent except for my heartbeat. My knees give out. The last thing I see is those burning blue eyes cutting through the dark, locked on me as consciousness slips away. The first thing I feel is softness. Expensive sheets. The kind I've only ever felt in hotel showrooms. The second thing is the smell. Old leather, something smoky, and a hint of jasmine. For a second, I think I'm in a hospital after some kind of breakdown. Then I remember the claws, the wings, the eyes. I jolt upright, so fast my vision spins. Ow. Damn it. The room around me isn't a hospital. It's beautiful, elegant in a way that feels both ancient and modern. Tall windows with heavy drapes. Dark wood furniture. A fireplace crackling quietly. Everything looks like it belongs in a movie about rich people with secrets. This is definitely not my studio apartment. I press my hands to my face, half expecting to find blood. But I'm clean. Someone changed my clothes into a silk robe that smells faintly like sandalwood. What the actual hell? I whisper. Good. You're awake. The voice is smooth, deep enough to feel in my chest. I freeze. He's standing near the doorway. The man from the library. Up close, he's even more devastating. Sharp cheekbones, perfect posture, those impossible blue eyes that seem to see straight through me. I swallow hard. You were in the fight. The one with. I stop myself. Either I'm having a psychotic break, or this is some very elaborate kidnapping. His mouth curves slightly. Not quite a smile. You fainted. I collapsed, I correct, after watching a demon and, whatever you are, destroy the mythology section. His eyes narrow slightly. Not in surprise. in confirmation. So, I didn't imagine it. My voice comes out smaller than I want. You saw what no human should have been able to see, he says quietly. That's why you're here, to ensure you survive long enough for us to understand how. I blink. Okay, let's rewind. You're saying there were actual demons involved. You dragged me out of my workplace, changed my clothes, and now I'm in… What is this? A mansion? Yes. And I'm supposed to just thank you? Would you rather I'd left you there for them to find? That shuts me up. He walks to the fireplace, picks up a poker, and adjusts the flames with irritating calm. You shouldn't have been able to see us, Nadia. I stiffen. How do you know my name? I checked your employee badge. He looks back at me, expression unreadable. I'm Asher Thorne. Asher Thorne, I repeat. Is that supposed to mean something? He studies me for a long moment. To my kind? Yes. And your kind would be? He meets my gaze, without flinching. Guardian. We protect the boundary between worlds. I blink once, then again. Then I laugh loud, a little hysterical. Of course you are. Sure. Why not? I'm clearly in some kind of supernatural thriller, and I'm the confused side character who wasn't supposed to see the plot. Asher doesn't react. His face stays maddeningly calm, those eyes tracing every flicker of my expression. You're not supposed to exist. Humans can't see through the veil. But you did, which means you're something else. And that makes you valuable and hunted. My laughter dies. Hunted by who? He leans against the mantel. Everyone who wants power. The demons already know you saw them. The others will soon enough. I stare at him. You're saying I'm in danger. He nods once. You were the moment you opened your eyes. The fire pops sharply between us. I pull the robe tighter, heart pounding. So what now? Asher's gaze softens, barely. Now you stay alive. And you do exactly what I tell you. Yeah, I mutter, trying to sound braver than I feel, because I'm totally great at following orders. His mouth curves in a ghost of a smile. Somehow I don't doubt that. When I wake up the next morning, there's coffee. Real, hot coffee, sitting on a tray beside a note that reads, "Stay inside." I stare at it for a full minute before muttering, not drinking the mysterious guardian coffee. I grab it anyway. The house is massive and eerily quiet. I follow the sound of voices until I find a kitchen that looks like it belongs in an architecture magazine. 3 people sit around a marble island. They stop talking when I walk in. One woman's eyes flash silver for just a second, enough to make me freeze in the doorway. Morning, I say, because awkward silence isn't my thing. Is there a return policy on supernatural kidnappings? The woman actually laughs. One of the men hides a smile. The other just stares. Then Asher walks in. The entire energy shifts. He's wearing black again, always black, and barefoot, like someone who doesn't need to try to look dangerous. Nadia, he says, voice low but firm. You shouldn't be wandering. I raise an eyebrow. You lock the doors at night or something? Something like that. He gestures for me to sit. I don't. No offense, but I'd really love to know what's going on before I agree to breakfast with people who can do that thing. He doesn't answer right away. Instead, he looks at the others. Out. The shorter man looks like he wants to argue, but one glance from Asher and he leaves. The others follow. Now it's just us. He crosses his arms. You said last night you saw wings, horns, claws. Yeah. And apparently nobody else did because they were too busy being oblivious. That's because a veil was cast over the library. A concealment enchantment. Humans can't see through it. I blink. Well, clearly someone forgot to send me the memo. That's the problem, he says evenly. You shouldn't have been able to. Which means something in you isn't entirely human. Excuse me? He meets my eyes. You heard me. I laugh, but it sounds hollow. Okay, you can stop with the cryptic supernatural diagnostics. I'm a librarian. My most magical talent is organizing books by the Dewey Decimal System. He doesn't smile. You have traces of ancient bloodline magic. My advisor confirmed it. Advisor? Like a mystical therapist? Don't test me, Nadia. His tone sharpens. I cross my arms. You don't get to order me around just because you dragged me into your weird guardian mansion. I'm not ordering. For a second, the air between us hums with something I can't name. Then he exhales, the tension breaking. Listen, there are rules in our world, laws that keep peace between realms. You broke one by existing. Rude, I mutter. He almost smiles. Almost. Demons, guardians, sorcerers, they've lived hidden for centuries. If humans saw what we are, there would be chaos. You seeing through the veil puts that secrecy at risk. Glad to know I'm special. He steps closer. You are. My heart jumps. And until I figure out why, he adds, voice low, you don't leave this house. I open my mouth to argue, but something about the way he looks at me, calm, certain, protective, tells me it won't matter. I lift my coffee mug in mock salute. Guess I'm your new house guest. Hope you've got Netflix. He smirks, barely there, but real. You're not what I expected. Yeah, I get that a lot. By sunset, 3 things become clear. 1. I'm definitely not dreaming. 2. Asher's household includes more people than I thought, and none of them trust me. 3. Their leader doesn't believe in personal space or straight answers. Every time I ask about the fight, the demon, or why my skin still tingles when he's near, he just says, we'll talk after the advisor arrives. Well, it's been hours. My patience left around lunchtime. When footsteps finally echo in the hallway, I'm on the couch muttering to myself about guardians and emotional unavailability. The door opens. A woman steps in, not what I expected. She's older, draped in deep purple silk, her skin rich brown, her eyes pale gray like winter sky. This is her, she asks, voice calm but knowing. Asher nods. He's leaning against the wall, arms crossed, filling the whole room with his presence. Nadia, he says, my name rolling off his tongue like he said it forever. This is Helena. She's our advisor. I blink. Your mystic consultant. Helena smiles faintly. Of a sort. I see what others cannot. Okay, I say slowly. That's not ominous at all. She gestures for me to sit. It won't hurt. That's what everyone says before something definitely hurts. Asher's mouth twitches. You'll be fine. I sigh and offer my hand. Fine. Let's play mystical doctor. Helena pricks my finger with a silver needle. The drop of blood hits a shallow crystal bowl. The liquid ripples, glowing faintly gold, then deep crimson threaded with light. The room goes still. Helena's eyes widen. Impossible. Okay, I say, pulling my hand back. That's not something you want your advisor to say. Asher steps forward. What do you see? Helena's gaze lifts to him, then to me. Ancient blood. Very ancient. She carries the mark of the seers. I frown. What now? Asher stiffens. That line was erased centuries ago. Apparently, Helena murmurs. Not entirely. I look between them. Someone please translate before I start Googling this. Asher finally looks at me. Really looks. A seer was a human touched by primordial magic. Part oracla, part mortal. They could see through illusions, through lies, through realms. My stomach twists. And you're saying that's me? I'm saying you shouldn't exist, he replies quietly. Well, lucky you, I snap. I'm very good at disappointing people's expectations. Helena chuckles softly, but her gaze stays wary. You must protect her. If the demons or sorcerers learn she's awakened. They won't. Asher cuts in. I stand up. Excuse me. Awakened? Like I'm some kind of magical appliance. Asher turns toward me. It means your blood carries power, Nadia. And power draws attention. Something in his tone, protective, almost tender, makes me look away. I didn't ask for any of this. I know, he says quietly, but you're in it now. Helena packs up her tools, murmuring something under her breath. The blood never lies, she says as she leaves. Silence stretches. I finally glance at Asher. So what now? Do I get a crash course in magic for dummies? He doesn't answer right away. He just studies me, something unreadable in those blue eyes. Now you stay close. You don't leave without me. I lift my chin. You're not my babysitter. His lips curve.
No.
I'm your protector. Yeah, that's not going to work on me. He steps closer, close enough that his scent, smoke and jasmine, wraps around me. We'll see, Nadia. And somehow I know he's not just talking about safety. Asher turns away first. Get some rest. I'll have food sent in. He's halfway to the door when I snap. Wait. He pauses, glancing over his shoulder. I want to go home, I say, standing up. My voice shakes, but not from fear. From exhaustion sharpened by anger. I can't stay here. Not in some mansion with people who look at me like I'm a problem they can't solve. His brow arches slightly. You're safer here. I'll take my chances with normal human problems like rent and bad coffee. He exhales like he's heard this before. Nadia, don't. I take a step toward him. Tell me something, Asher Thorne. He turns fully now, eyes narrowing slightly. Are you keeping me here because you actually care about me? I say slowly, and you're using this whole ancient bloodline thing as an excuse? For a moment, his expression doesn't change. Then he chuckles, a deep, quiet sound. Excuse me?
Yeah.
You can be honest. Then I'll think about whether to report you for kidnapping. You're not my type, he says, mouth curving. I grin.
Good.
Because you're not mine either. I like men who smile sometimes and don't look like they bench press moral dilemmas. He stares at me, amusement flickering before vanishing. Are you done? Not even close. Because this still feels like kidnapping. I didn't kidnap you. Really? Then what do you call taking someone without consent? He doesn't answer. His jaw tightens. Exactly, I say. But what I really want to know is why you? Why was it you who took me? Why not one of the demons or another guardian? Or, I stop, my voice catching. Why do I feel? He cuts in, voice suddenly sharp. Is it your wish to be taken by a demon? The air shifts colder. If that's what you want, Nadia, he continues, tone icy, I'll make your wish come true. He turns and strides toward the door. Asher. But he's already gone, leaving storm and fury in his wake. And for reasons that make no sense, my pulse won't stop racing. My feet have this annoying habit of moving whether my brain agrees or not. Boredom makes people do stupid things, like wandering through a stranger's mansion, opening doors, pretending you're on a home tour. The hallways are endless. Portraits stare. Rugs swallow footsteps. I pass a study where someone glances up, nods, and goes back to ancient-looking books. I keep going. Through a library that smells like old paper and secrets, past a room with a grand piano, out onto a terrace overlooking a courtyard. Below, people gather. Maybe 20, maybe 30. I can't tell. Then a roar of noise hits me. Cheers, shouts, the stomp of feet. I follow the sound down stone stairs. The courtyard opens up, and my jaw drops. Two figures fight in the center, moving faster than should be possible. One's wreathed in shadow, the other in flame. They're not human. Not entirely. The crowd eats it up, shouting like it's a sport. The shadow fighter pins the flame wielder to the ground. The crowd groans, disappointed. I stand frozen, their raw power vibrating through me. So, this is what guardians do for fun? I mutter. The shadow fighter lifts their head. And then, like the entire courtyard breathes with them, they shift. The darkness peels away, revealing a man, completely, absolutely naked. He doesn't flinch, just stands and walks away. My eyes go reflexively down. Do not look. Do not. Of course I look. Okay, call me a pervert, but wow. Who are you, big girl? A voice snaps, sharp and cruel. My head turns. A young woman, early 20s, leather jacket, hair dyed fire red, is staring at me, smirk wide, hands on hips. Excuse me? I say. She rolls her eyes. You heard me, big girl. Standing there like you own the place. I straighten. My name is Nadia. If that's hard, you can call me Naughty. She laughs, mocking. Naughty. That's cute. Big Naughty. I don't do cute, I snap, teeth bared in a grin that isn't a smile. But if you call me that again, I will knock you out. Her smirk widens. Call me what you want, big girl. I'm not scared of some librarian. Well, I say slowly. Don't say I didn't warn you. Before she can respond, I plant my forehead against hers and shove.
Hard.
The girl staggers back, clutching her face. Blood streams from her nose. For a second, I almost feel guilty. Almost. Then she snarls. Her body convulses, bones cracking, skin splitting. Fire erupts across her form, and suddenly she's something else. Something with claws and fury. She lunges. Her shoulder slams my ribs hard enough to steal my breath. I hit the stone, pain blooming hot and bright. As I lie there gasping, the fire creature bares fangs. Then a roar cuts through the air. A shadow drops between us, bigger, darker, more terrifying than anything I've seen. Asher. His form is half human, half something ancient and deadly. His eyes burn blue fire. The fire girl skids to a halt, trembling. Around us, everyone bows their heads. Asher's voice is ice. You shifted against a guest. The girl. She attacked me first. I warned you, Asher says calmly. Too calmly. Your pride doesn't excuse disobedience. He steps closer. The crowd parts. Guardian, she starts, but the word dies when his eyes flash brighter. She flinches, baring her throat. Finally, Asher exhales. You'll clean these stones, and you'll apologize to her. Her head jerks up. To her? He doesn't repeat himself. After a tense beat, she stumbles toward me. I'm sorry, she mutters through gritted teeth. I blink.
Yeah.
Accepted. Asher nods once. The crowd disperses instantly. Only then does he look at me. You shouldn't have been out here. You shouldn't let people with anger issues roam free. I shoot back. Also, clothes. Ever heard of them? A corner of his mouth twitches. You hit her first. She called me big girl. Fair enough. His chuckle is dark, low, reluctant. It makes something flutter in my stomach. He steps closer, shrugging off a long coat. He drapes it over my shoulders. It smells like smoke and trouble. Come on. You need medical attention. I hesitate, pulling it tighter. I don't need help. I need answers. He studies me. You still don't understand what you are. And you still haven't explained. His jaw flexes. You're the reason this house is now a target. My throat goes dry. Excuse me? Word spreads fast. The demons have scouts. The sorcerers are stirring. And you? His voice dips. You're the spark in all of it. I stare at him. So, I'm some kind of cosmic accident. His gaze softens barely. You're something no one thought could exist anymore. He turns, walking toward the mansion. I follow, limping slightly. And what am I supposed to do with that? He stops at the steps, half turning. Stay alive. Then he disappears inside, leaving me standing in his coat, the night pressing close and a new kind of fear curling under my ribs, one that has his name written all over it. After Asher walks off, the courtyard empties until it's just me, my heartbeat, and the dull ache where the fire girl used my ribs as target practice. I drag myself back inside, following hallways until I find a room that's supposedly mine. Someone left fresh clothes on the bed and, thank every deity, underwear that actually fits. I strip and step into the shower. The water is hot enough to sting, then soothe. I stay under it until my skin prunes. When I step out, I feel almost human again. The borrowed clothes fit without judgment, which earns them bonus points. I follow the smell of food until I reach a dining hall that looks medieval. Long table, candles, at least 20 people already seated. Every conversation stops when I walk in. Asher's at the head of the table, freshly dressed, looking like authority wrapped in danger. He doesn't blink as I sit halfway down, directly across from women who glare like I'm a disease. Fork scrape. Someone clears their throat. Then I notice her, the fire girl, nose still swollen, sitting 2 seats away, her gaze sharp as knives. When Asher speaks to someone beside him, she leans forward. "I swear," she hisses, "you won't last long here." I smile sweetly, lean close enough for her to hear. "I promise to sit on you before you get the chance." Somewhere down the table, a younger girl chokes on a laugh. The silence afterward tastes like challenge. I cut bread, chew, and look straight ahead. Inside, I'm shaking. But if these people think they can stare me into submission, they've picked the wrong librarian. Dinner feels like sitting in a cage. Nobody talks to me, but everybody watches. Asher keeps his focus on updates, patrols, borders, something about demon scouts in the Northern District. But I can feel his attention flick toward me now and then. The food is incredible, but I can't taste any of it. Finally, someone speaks to me. A guy near the end clears his throat. "So you're the human?" Last time I checked. A few smirks appear. They vanish when Asher's gaze sweeps the table. Silence again. When plates are cleared, Asher rises. "Training at dawn. Double shifts tonight."
Dismissed.
Chairs scrape.
People file out.
I stay seated, pretending to fix my napkin. The fire girl brushes past, muttering, "Enjoy the guest suite while you can." "Enjoy your ice pack," I whisper back. Her snarl is almost musical. When the room empties, it's just me and Asher. I clear my throat. "Do you ever eat like normal people?" He doesn't look up from his papers. What would that look like? Talking, laughing, less staring contests. I lead a house, Nadia, not a dinner club. I fold my arms. You lead a cult with table manners. That earns me the smallest flicker of a grin before he hides it. You should rest. Tomorrow will be worse. Worse how? He finally meets my eyes. Because the demons are moving. And because you still think you're just human. A chill runs down my back. You mean I'm not? You saw what no one else could. You bled light into a bowl that should have stayed dark. The world's about to remember what your kind once did. I want to laugh it off, but the words stick. And what did they do? He turns away, already walking out. They changed the balance. And then they burned for it. The door shuts, leaving me with candles burning low and questions I'm not ready to face. Shouting drags me from sleep. For a second, I think it's a nightmare. Then I hear boots hitting dirt and deep, guttural roars. I push off the blankets and pad to the window. The morning light slants gold across a field behind the mansion. The air is alive with motion. Dozens of fighters, some wreathed in shadow, others in flame, dart across the clearing in organized chaos. Asher stands at the center. His presence pulls like gravity. He's half-shifted, eyes burning blue, power radiating from him. When he speaks, everyone moves. I can't look away. When the session ends, I throw on a hoodie and sneak out the back door. The ground is damp. Fighters shift back, walking off toward showers and buildings. Then Asher turns and catches me staring. For a moment, neither of us moves. Then he starts walking toward me. "You're supposed to rest," he says, stopping a few feet away. I did. I lie. Just sightseeing. His gaze drops to my bare feet, then rises. "You shouldn't wander the training grounds. Accidents happen."
Funny.
"You sound like you actually care." His lips twitch. "I care about keeping order."
Right.
God forbid anyone disrupts your military guardian ballet. That earns me a full grin. Sharp and quick. "You've got nerve, Nadia." "Thanks. It's called surviving." He takes one step closer. "Keep doing that. You'll need it." Before I can ask what he means, a young man runs up breathless. "Sir," movement at the southern perimeter. 2 scouts didn't return. Asher's face hardens. He nods once and looks back at me. "Stay inside no matter what you hear." And then he shifts. His form explodes into shadow and light, and he's gone, leaving nothing but wind and the echo of power. I try to do what he said. Really. But the longer I sit in that ridiculously fancy living room, the louder the silence gets. Then something screams outside. I'm on my feet before my brain can stop me. The forest looks wrong. Shadows twist where they shouldn't. I step outside. The wind bites, carrying the scent of pine and something metallic. You shouldn't be out here. I spin. It's the fire girl, now human, glaring. Her nose is healed. Lucky her. Relax, I say. Just getting air. This isn't air. It's danger. Thanks for the poetry. Before she can reply, a distant crash ripples through the trees, followed by a growl that doesn't sound like anything I've heard before. What was that? I whisper. She doesn't answer, just shifts instantly and takes off running. I should go back inside. I know that. But something pulls me forward. The forest is darker here. I hear voices, growls, snapping branches. Asher's roar cutting through it all. Then I see him. He's fighting something massive, gray, twisted, eyes glowing red. The thing lunges, slamming Asher to the ground. Without thinking, I grab a branch and shout, "Hey, overgrown nightmare." It turns, and for one blinding second, as its gaze locks on mine, the air ripples. The creature hesitates. Asher uses that moment to drive light through its chest. When it collapses, Asher shifts back, panting, streaked with dirt and blood. "Are you insane?" he snarls, grabbing my arm. "Apparently. But you're welcome." He stares at me. "You shouldn't have been able to see that creature at all. It was cloaked." "Well," I say, swallowing hard. "Guess the spell forgot about me." His grip tightens slightly. His eyes, half human, half something else, burn. "That's because you're not just human, Nadia. You never were." Asher half drags me back toward the mansion. His grip is firm, his jaw clenched. "Slow down," I snap, stumbling. "You're not the only one bleeding here." He doesn't answer. Not until we reach the porch, where he suddenly spins, pressing me against the wall with one hand beside my head. "What were you thinking following me out there?" I lift my chin. "You said don't leave the house. You didn't say the porch didn't count." "Nadia," his voice comes out low, rough, dangerous. "That thing could have killed you."
Yeah, well, it didn't.
"I distracted it long enough for you to do your guardian thing." He closes his eyes, exhaling hard. "You don't get it. Then make me get it." I shove his chest. It's like hitting a wall. "You keep talking like I broke some rule, but you just said I shouldn't have been able to see that thing. So tell me, what the hell am I?" He opens his eyes, and the blue in them burns hotter. "You're supposed to be human." "I am human." "No," he says, voice dropping lower. "You were. But your blood isn't ordinary. It reacted to magic out there. You broke a spell no human could see through." "Reacted?" "Like an allergy. Like recognition." The silence stretches. My heart thuds. I can feel his breath on my skin. I tell myself I should move. That this is insane. But I don't. He tilts his head slightly. "You're not safe here, Nadia. Not if they find out what you are." "Then why keep me here?" I whisper. "Why not just let me go?" His jaw tightens. "Because I don't trust anyone else with you." There's something in the way he says it. Protective, possessive, and absolutely infuriating. I swallow, trying to steady myself. "You mean you don't trust me?" He steps back, putting distance between us, like the space might cool whatever just flared in the air. "Get cleaned up. We'll talk when I know more." "And what if I don't want to wait for your royal guardianship to bless me with information?" His lips curve, but it's not amusement, it's warning. "Then you'll make my life harder." "And Nadia." "What?" "I'm starting to think you enjoy doing exactly that." He turns and walks away, leaving me breathless, furious, and entirely too aware of how much danger my heart's in. When I wake the next morning, sunlight spills through the curtains. I actually slept. Asher's words echo in my head. "You're not just human." I drag myself out of bed, shower, and find jeans and a sweater someone left in the wardrobe. They fit perfectly, which is either thoughtful or creepy. The mansion's quieter than usual. No yelling, no running feet. I step into the hallway. No one stops me, so I keep exploring. I end up in a library. Shelves from floor to ceiling. The smell of leather and dust thick in the air. I trail my fingers along the spines until one book practically shocks me.
Ow.
I hiss, jerking back. A faint shimmer of light glows under my skin where I touched it, pulsing before fading. Okay, that's new. I pick up the book, The Lost Seers of the First Age, and suddenly every light in the room flickers. I drop it, heart racing. The glow under my skin flares brighter before disappearing. What the hell? Should have known you'd end up here. I turn to see Asher leaning in the doorway, wearing a dark shirt, looking annoyingly calm. You need better security, I say. He walks closer, eyes darting to my hand. What were you doing? I touched a book. It touched back. His expression hardens. Show me. I hold out my palm. Nothing. Guess it's shy. He takes my hand anyway. His fingers rough and warm around mine. The moment he touches me, that same pulse returns, stronger, like something alive waking up inside me. His jaw tightens. Your blood's reacting again. Yeah, it does that when strange men grab me. He shoots me a look, but amusement flickers. You shouldn't be able to touch that book. It's sealed by ancient wards. Only those of the old blood can open it.
My throat feels dry.
So, I'm officially a walking mystery box. Fantastic. He doesn't smile. Nadia, if this is what I think it is, you're more than a mystery. You're a target. That cold dread settles in my chest. Target by who? He releases my hand slowly. Everyone. I don't remember how long I sat in the library, staring at the book. My hand still tingles. I swear I can hear whispers beneath my skin. Eventually, I give up and go for a walk. Stupid decision number 1. The halls are darker now, lit only by moonlight. The air feels heavy, charged. I'm halfway to my room when I hear it. A whisper, my name. Nadia. I freeze. The voice is smooth, velvet dark and wrong. I turn, and there he is. The demon from the library. Pale skin, perfect features, eyes that glitter like shattered glass. Miss me? He asks softly. My pulse jumps. You're supposed to be gone. He chuckles. Humans and their optimism. I take a step back. Asher. I shout, or try to, but before I can finish, the world tilts. The air thickens, warping, and suddenly I'm not in the mansion anymore. The smell hits first. Cold stone, sulfur, something sweet like decay. I'm in some kind of chamber, black walls glimmering under torchlight. And sitting on a throne of bone and shadow is another demon, bigger, older, infinitely more terrifying. Welcome, little anomaly, he says, voice like silk over steel. I swallow hard. You've got the wrong girl. I'm strictly human. Zero supernatural warranty. The demon from the library laughs beside me. That's the thing, darling. You're not. You never were. The one on the throne leans forward, eyes burning crimson. You are sear-blooded, the last of a lineage that vanished before my kind rose. Your blood carries power to see through all illusions, to bend reality itself. I blink. Cool exposition. Now how about you let me go before your creepy castle smell gets in my hair? He smiles, slow and dangerous. Join us, Nadia. Work for me, and I will teach you to control what you are. The Guardians will only use you. I will make you untouchable. Yeah, hard pass. I've seen enough supernatural shows to know how this ends. His smile vanishes. Pity. A blur of motion, and the younger demon grabs me, pinning me effortlessly. His fangs flash. I struggle, kick, curse, but he's faster, stronger. Then pain explodes through my neck. I scream as my blood rushes out. The world's spinning, dark spots clouding my vision. But somewhere deep inside, something snaps. The air shudders. Torches flicker wildly. A surge of light, silver and blinding, bursts from my skin, throwing the demon off with a hiss. The older one roars. Do not kill her. She is mine. I don't know how I move. Instinct takes over. I run, stumbling through corridors that shift and blur. The world tilts again. Suddenly, air. Cold night air. I collapse onto wet grass, gasping. My neck burns, blood slick under my hand. I can barely see. Distant howls echo, deep and furious. Then, just before I lose consciousness, a shadow moves between me and the moon. Tall, familiar, radiating rage and power. Nadia, his voice growls, broken with something that sounds like fear. Then everything goes black. Asher's point of view. The night was too quiet. At first, I didn't notice. I was in my study, buried under reports. Then something in my chest started itching. An old instinct. Silence like this never means peace. I pushed back my chair, listening. Normally the mansion thrums with life. But now, nothing. My power bristled under my skin. The first place I checked was the library. That's where I'd left her. Empty. I turned and headed for her room, moving faster, half-shifted already. Empty again. No sign of struggle. Then I felt it. The hum. Magical residue, thick in the air. Recognition hit like lightning.
Fuck.
Malakar. One of the oldest demons still walking, powerful enough to cast a full isolation ward around an entire estate. The bastard had done it. He'd silenced everyone and took her. The second I stepped outside, the spell broke. Energy rippled through the air. The mansion woke up, voices, confusion. Malakar's been here, I snarled. He took her. A dozen people dropped their heads, power crackling around them. East perimeter. North sector. The rest of you gear up. We hunt. The courtyard erupted. I tore through my shift, bones cracking, shadow and light bursting through. The world exploded in scent and sound. I lifted my head and let power roar through me, one long, furious sound that shook the trees. Then I ran. The trail cut deep into the forest, twisting through rocks and roots. I followed without slowing, every breath filled with her fading scent. By the time I reached the ravine, the night had gone cold. The air stank of blood and demon rot.
Then I saw it.
A shimmer of black stone ahead, cloaked by illusion. I didn't wait. I tore through the veil, magic crackling. The demons inside barely had time to react. One lunged. I ripped through him. Another drew a blade. I shattered his form before he could swing. Then, at the far end of the hall, I saw her. Nadia lay crumpled against the wall, pale and still, blood streaking her neck. Her pulse faint. Malakar stood over her, smirking. She burns beautifully, doesn't she? Do you even know what she is? That blood of hers could reshape your world. I didn't let him finish. I hit him so hard the stone cracked. His laugh turned into a snarl as he lunged back, faster than most could see. But I was faster. My power tore through his side, sending him crashing. He vanished into shadows before I could finish him. But I didn't care. I dropped to my knees beside her, heart clawing at my ribs. Her skin was cold, her breathing shallow. Nadia, I rasped. Stay with me. No response. Just that fragile pulse. I cursed. There was only one thing that could save her now. I bit into my wrist hard. Blood welled up, dark and thick with power. Forgive me, I whispered, pressing it to her lips. At first, nothing. Then her body jerked. A growl tore through me as her aura flared. The air around us pulsed silver, bright enough to sting. Her wounds began to close. But her magic, was out of control. The air trembled. Torches exploded. She gasped, arching, the glow beneath her skin spreading, her voice breaking into a scream that wasn't entirely human. I grabbed her shoulders. Nadia, look at me. Her eyes flew open, glowing silver, wild and terrified. Asher, she whispered. What did you? The words cut off as her head fell forward against my chest, unconscious. I held her there, the room spinning with smoke, my blood on her lips, her scent tangled with mine. I'd saved her. But in doing so, I'd bound her to me. Forever. By the time we made it back, dawn was breaking. People gathered near the gates, eyes wide when they saw what I carried. Nadia looked like death, too pale, too fragile. But her heart still beat. "Call Helena," I barked. "And tell no one what happened." They scattered. I carried her to my room, the only place I trusted, and laid her on my bed. I'd done something irreversible. I'd given her my blood. And now, whether she knew it or not, part of me was inside her. The bond was there, faint but real, pulling at me. She was mine now in a way no human was ever meant to be. I sat beside the bed, staring at her face. Even pale and bruised, she looked peaceful. And for the first time in years, fear settled heavy in my gut. Because if she didn't wake up, I wouldn't forgive myself. Movement. A soft GR.
Own.
I blinked awake just in time to see her hand twitch, her head turn. "Nadia."
My voice came out rough.
Her eyes fluttered open, confused, hazy, then sharp when she saw me.
What?
"Where am I?" "In my room. You were hurt. I brought you back." She sat up too fast, wincing. Her hand flew to her neck, where the bite had been. No mark remained. Her gaze snapped back to me. "What did you do to me?" I didn't answer right away. The truth wasn't something I wanted to say aloud. When I finally spoke, my voice was quiet. "I saved your life. The demon drained too much blood. You wouldn't have made it without mine." Her brows furrowed. "Your blood." I nodded. She blinked, then laughed, short and bitter. "You gave me guardian blood? Are you insane? What does that even mean?" I met her gaze. "It means you're alive. But it also means you're bound to me now." Silence. Her lips parted, but no sound came out. Then slowly, bound. "What does that mean?" I exhaled, dragging a hand through my hair. "It's a guardian bond. My blood carries essence and protection magic. Once you took it, it recognized you as mine. Connected to me. It can't be undone." She stared at me like I'd slapped her. "You're saying I belong to you now?" "Not owned," I said, cutting her off. "Connected." Her chest rose and fell sharply. "So, I'm your responsibility?" I hesitated, then nodded. "Yes." Her expression hardened. She pushed herself to the edge of the bed. "Well, that's your mistake, not mine." I almost smiled. Almost. She was furious. But she was alive. As she stood, dizziness hit her. She stumbled, and before I could stop myself, I caught her. Her body fit too easily against mine, her heartbeat thrumming against my chest. She froze. I did too. For a moment, it was just the two of us breathing the same air, her scent tangled with mine, the bond pulsing faintly between us. "Let go," she whispered, not meeting my eyes. I did. But the feel of her lingered. As she walked toward the door, I said quietly, "You can hate me all you want, Nadia. But the truth is you'd be dead if I hadn't done it." She paused, hand on the handle. Then, without turning back, "I'd rather be dead than belong to anyone."
The door slammed.
The sound echoed through the room. But I could still feel her. Every pulse of irritation, every spark of fear, every heartbeat quickening as she stormed down the hall. The bond wasn't supposed to awaken this soon. Not with a human. I clenched my jaw, forcing the power in me to quiet. But I couldn't stop feeling her. Nadia's point of view. I didn't sleep that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I felt him.
Asher.
His voice, his presence, his heartbeat. It wasn't like hearing thoughts. More like someone left a radio on in the next room. At first, I thought I was losing it. Then, when I sat up and whispered, "Stop," the feeling dimmed slightly. And then his voice, low and rough, echoed in my head. "You should sleep." I froze.
Oh no. Nope.
Not doing this psychic connection thing. I jumped out of bed, pacing. "Okay, Nadia, breathe. You're not in a supernatural romance. This is just stress." But the more I tried to calm down, the worse it got. My heart raced, and I felt his heartbeat answer like a mirror. By sunrise, I'd changed clothes twice, cursed him at least 5 times, and decided to sneak out. The mansion was huge. Long corridors lined with portraits of people who definitely looked dangerous. I crept downstairs, avoiding eye contact. "Morning, Nadia," came a familiar voice dripping with venom. "Fire girl." She was leaning against the kitchen doorway, arms crossed. I smiled sweetly. "Oh, hey. Your nose fixed itself. Must be nice." Her eyes narrowed. "You think because he saved you, you can mouth off." "I don't think," I said, brushing past her. "I know," she snarled. But before she could shift, a deep sound rolled through the hall. Asher's voice echoing from outside. The sound made her flinch. It made me freeze. Because the moment he made that sound, something inside me reacted. My chest tightened. My pulse matched his rhythm. "What the hell?" I breathed. Fire Girl looked at me strangely. But she didn't get to say anything, because the front doors burst open. Asher walked in, wearing black, dirt on his skin, eyes glowing faint blue. He looked half wild, half furious. His gaze found me instantly. "Nadia," he said, voice low. "We need to talk." I crossed my arms. "Do we?" "Because last time, you turned me into your emotional Wi-Fi hotspot." A few people tried to hide their laughs. He ignored them. "Follow me." "Pass." His eyes flashed.
Now.
Something in his voice made my body move before my brain agreed. He led me outside, down a path lined with tall trees. When we reached the edge of the woods, he turned. "I felt it," he said. "Felt what?" "Your irritation." "Congratulations. It's mutual." He stepped closer. "The bond. It's strengthening faster than I expected. You're connected to my emotions. Me to yours." I laughed, even though part of me wanted to scream. "So, we're some kind of supernatural Bluetooth pair now." He didn't smile. "It's dangerous, Nadia. If I lose control near you, it could hurt you." That sobered me. For a long moment, neither of us spoke. Then I whispered, "So what happens now?" He looked away, jaw tight. "Now we find a way to keep you alive long enough to understand what you really are." The way he said it sent a chill down my spine. Not if. Long enough. And from the way the bond pulsed between us, hot and uneasy, I knew he felt it too. That night, Helena and 2 other advisors appeared at my door, carrying bowls and candles flickering blue. "We can dampen it," one said. "The bond has awakened too soon." They led me to a chamber beneath the mansion, stone walls lined with runes. I sat in the center of a circle. "When we begin, don't fight it," Helena said softly. "Let the bond show itself." Before I could ask, the chanting began. The flames flared blue. The ground pulsed. Something deep inside me snapped. Heat roared up my spine. And then I wasn't in the room anymore. I was standing in a forest, drenched in moonlight. Across from me stood him. Not Asher as I knew him, but older. His eyes glowed blue, his chest bare and marked with symbols. "Nadia," he said, voice echoing. "You shouldn't have come." "What is this? A dream?" He stepped forward, the bond flaring.
No.
"A memory. Ours." "Ours?" The forest rippled. Flashes struck. 2 figures entwined in battle and love, fire and blood. A guardian with his eyes. A woman with mine. The vision hit me hard. I gasped awake, the advisor shouting, the circle's runes cracking. Helena grabbed me. "You weren't supposed to see that. The bonds from before, from another life." Before I could answer, Asher burst through the door, eyes wild. Our gazes locked, and the fire inside me recognized him completely. Not just my protector.
My past.
Asher reached for my hand and led me through the halls into his room, without saying a word. The heat that had been smoldering roared to life. Before I could speak, the world bent, and we were in his room, breathless. "Asher, what is?" He didn't let me finish. His mouth was on mine, hot and desperate. My knees went weak. My thoughts scattered. I tore away just enough to whisper, You feel it too, don't you? His eyes were fire. For a heartbeat, the world held still. Then I muttered, "Screw this," and pulled him back to me. His hand caught my waist, the heat of his touch shooting through me. "You have no idea what you're doing to me," he murmured. A shaky laugh slipped past my lips. "Maybe I do." His eyes darkened. When his thumb brushed along my jaw, the touch felt like both a warning and a confession. "You shouldn't have said that," he said. "Why not?" "Because I might stop holding back." Thunder rolled outside. "Then don't," I whispered. He exhaled sharply. The next second, my back met the wall. He didn't press into me. He hovered just close enough that the air vibrated. "You're not afraid?" he asked. "I'm not fragile," I told him. That earned me a smile, dark, slow, full of promise. He lifted me before I realized he meant to. My gasp tangled with his breath. His arms were steady, sure. When he lowered me onto the bed, the mattress sighed. He hovered over me, and before I knew it, his mouth was everywhere. He brought his hand over my neck, down my breasts, all the way down into my clothes. I gasped when his hand brushed between my legs, and before I knew it, they were inside me, making me arch. When he withdrew them, I was soaking. He brought his fingers to his mouth and tasted me, eyes locked on mine. Then he leaned down and told me to taste how amazing I was. Before I knew it, our clothes were off, and the moment he entered me, it felt like flying. He growled my name.
Nadia.
"You feel incredible." The only thing I could feel was how perfectly he filled me. His pace quickened, and the air around us seemed to hum. The storm outside pounded against the windows, matching the wild rhythm of my heartbeat. My voice broke through the quiet, raw and unrestrained. He held me tighter, moving with desperate purpose. When everything reached its peak, it felt like falling and flying at once. And when it was over, I was still shaking, his heartbeat thundering against mine. For a moment, I just lay there, my skin tingling, my chest rising and falling in time with his. The rain hadn't stopped, but the world suddenly felt still. When I woke up, everything smelled like smoke and rain. Sunlight was spilling across the sheets. For a moment, I just lay there, listening to his steady breathing beside me. Asher, the guardian who'd saved me, argued with me, protected me. And now this. I let out a quiet laugh. "Guess there's no going back to normal after this." He stirred, blue eyes opening slowly, catching mine. The look in them made my stomach flip. "What?" I said, half smiling. "You're staring like you just saw a ghost." "Maybe I did," he murmured. "What?" He sat up. "The woman you saw in that vision, that was you, Nadia. The bond we felt, it's the same one reborn." I wanted to laugh it off, but something deep in me knew. The way our hands fit, the way my power had answered his. "Great," I muttered. "So not only am I not human, I'm also your ancient cosmic girlfriend." He chuckled and reached out to brushes them over my jaw. "You make it sound like a curse." "Depends," I said, catching his hand. "Does this cosmic connection come with dental or just constant threats?" That earned me a grin. Then his face grew serious. "They'll come for you, Nadia. The demons know. Others will too." I sighed and swung my legs off the bed, grabbing his shirt. It hung off me like a dress. "Then let them come. I've got fire in my blood and a grumpy guardian who owes me coffee." He stood, walked to me, and tipped my chin up. "You're staying?" I met his gaze. "You think you can get rid of me that easily?" His mouth curved. "I was hoping not." I smiled back. Then it settled. "I'm Nadia Monroe. Half something, full trouble, and apparently your biggest headache from now on." His laughter rumbled as he pulled me close, his forehead resting against mine. Outside, the storm clouds were breaking, sunlight cutting through like a promise. For the first time since that night in the library, I wasn't afraid. Because whatever I was, seer, human, or something in between, I wasn't alone anymore. Yeah, I had enemies here, but I also had him. The kind of man who could burn the world and still make me laugh in the ashes. And I knew, deep in my soul, that he was going to keep me safe. That together, we were unstoppable. This wasn't just a bond. It was destiny rewritten. And I was ready for whatever came next. 6 months later, the Crimson Page looks different now. Not because anything changed, same dusty shelves, same flickering lights. But because I'm different. I'm standing behind the front desk, reorganizing returns, when Asher walks in. He's wearing that black coat that makes him look like danger wrapped in elegance. "You're late," I say without looking up. "Traffic," he lies smoothly, leaning against the counter. I glance up, unable to hide my smile. "You don't drive." Details. He reaches across and tucks a strand of hair behind my ear. The touch sends that familiar warmth through me, the bond, still there, still strong, but now controlled. Understood. Helena taught me how to manage it, how to separate my emotions from his, how to use my seer abilities without burning out. Turns out, being part of an ancient magical bloodline comes with perks, like being able to sense danger before it arrives, like being able to shield the people I love, like being able to stand beside a guardian as an equal, not just someone he has to protect. "Ready?" he asks. I nod, grabbing my jacket. "Let's go." We walk out into the evening air, hand in hand. The city buzzes around us, completely unaware of the supernatural world existing alongside it. Somewhere out there, demons still plot, sorcerers still scheme. But they know better than to come for me now. Because I'm not just the librarian who saw too much anymore. I'm Nadia Parker, seer, guardian's mate, and the woman who rewrote her own destiny. And honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way.
Now I need to hear from you.
Drop a comment and tell me your absolute favorite part of the entire story. Was it the headbutt in the courtyard? The moment the bond snapped into place? That steamy scene against the wall? Or was it something quieter? Something only you noticed? I read every single comment, and I can't wait to see which moment stole your heart. You're incredible. Thank you for being here. I'll see you in the next story, loves.